Welcome to Dads, Docs, and Doulas, Womb Wednesday. As you all know, this is Black Millennials for Flint's monthly digital content series that focuses on the intersection of maternal health and environmental justice through a Black and Latinx and Indigenous lens. Womb Wednesday is our signature program, and we want to amplify the need for a strong, united front between Black and Brown folks to actively dismantle white supremacy through improving the quality of Black and Brown births. Womb Wednesday airs every fourth Wednesday right here. And without further ado, I'll pass it on to Anna.
Created by nationally renowned birth educator and founder of Black Millennials for Flint Maternal Health and Environmental Justice platform, Vanessa Vassall. This space tonight is to amplify men thriving in the birth worker space and empowering men to respond to the call of action to protect Black, Latinx, and Indigenous births. We are also going to go ahead and encourage our viewers to follow Black Millennials for Flint. You know you want to do it on Twitter at @BM4Flint. To engage in our live tweeting, go ahead and follow us right there and use the hashtag Womb Wednesdays. My name is Anna Rodney, and I am one of your hosts. I am the founder and executive director of MomCares, based here in Baltimore City. I'm a full spectrum doula, a registered yoga instructor, a holistic practitioner, and a birth advocate. I use she and her pronouns, and I am currently sitting on the Piscataway People's land here in Baltimore, Maryland. Thank you for joining us.
And I'm Vanessa Vassall. I appreciate the shout out, Anna. I'm Vanessa Vassall, and I am the National Programs Director for Maternal Health and Environmental Justice for Black Millennials for Flint. And I am the guest co-host this week. And I would love to pass it over to our expert panelist, Xavier Baldwin.
How you doing? I'm Xavier Baldwin, father of four. Own Barbershop in Memphis, Tennessee, College Shop Open, Barbershop. Podcast CEO and host. Shop Talk 901. Yeah, hope you guys enjoy today.
Thank you, Xavier, for joining us again. So we're going to just jump right into the questions. So when it comes to Black women, we know that regardless of socioeconomic status, marital status, education level, Black women are the most impacted by this anti-Black health system that we find ourselves navigating, as well as environmental racism. We know that our sisters like Serena Williams, Beyonce Knowles, Serena Williams in particular is one of the most successful and influential athletes of all time. Even with all of her success and access, she nearly lost her life giving birth because she was not listened to. And then also we had in the news recently, a Republican senator from Louisiana, Dr. Bill Cassidy. He found himself under fire for disrespecting Black women by saying, and I quote, "If you correct our population for race, we are not as much of an outlier as it otherwise appear. And sometimes maternal mortality includes up to a year after birth and would include someone being killed by her boyfriend." And so these inflammatory statements are swimming around as far as disrespecting the Black woman. So my question to you, Xavier, is what struggles have you seen specific to Black women and birthing folks in your work or as a parent? And what have been some successful supportive measures that you've been able to take?
Well, I know about the sickness. When women, a lot of Black women go through the sickness alone. And the sickness from being pregnant. I know you have kids, so you know about the sickness. But the sickness from being pregnant, the throwing up, the fatigue, being nauseated all the time. That's one thing that I just hate a lot of Black women go through by themselves. And not only that, when the child get here, they go through a lot more after the child is here. So like as far as preventive measures and measures I did to help with the pregnancy, I just tried to be there all the time, made sure you was comfortable, and especially when the child was about to be born. When my child was here, I was here hand and foot. I was there the whole time. So the support factor is really important with that. And as far as what the senator said, I don't know what he's going through in life, but he's absolutely wrong. That's not the way you fix the population. That's not what's going on. Because having a baby is a hard job. They say it's the most painful thing in the world is childbirth. And I just want to shout out to all the mothers in the world there, because like without y'all, the population does decline. And I appreciate y'all so much for going through with it, because it'd be a long 9 months, and not only do 9 months be long, y'all go through a lot of ups and downs, y'all body change, and y'all lose things y'all can never get back. So I try to be a lot supportive for that, and I really appreciate the Black woman for that. Like, y'all rock, y'all run the world.
Well, thank you. And we know studies show also that the emotions that a woman feels, a birthing person feels when they are pregnant, that trickles down to the baby. And you can see that in the baby's development, even after they've been born. So I thank you for your encouragement of other folks that are listening on just being compassionate and caring for the mom.
Definitely. Absolutely. It's a hard job. It's a hard job. I've seen the worst of it. My last child, there's a lot going on where my child mother, she was stressed a lot. She was doing a lot of stress. So my child came out like almost 3 months early. So to see her go through what she went through, then have a child 3 months early, and then when we leave the hospital, we can't take our child home. It was like so damaging to her, because again, she had 4 children previous to that. So she have another child, not to be able to bring a child home. I was always be able to bring my child home. She was in it's called a NICU, NICU for babies.
I'm very aware. So actually the little person that you might hear trying to get into my space right now was a NICU baby, and he was 3 months premature.
So you know about to make
I know
appointments
exactly.
to see your baby. I had to make appointments to see my baby. And
you had to ask for help to take care of the baby, to hold the baby, change the baby. Right. It definitely has an impact on being able to parent and connect with your child. So I'm grateful that it sounds like you guys came through as a unit, and baby is home and healthy as can be.
Yes, ma'am. But I do salute to all the women.
And I love that you shared your experience with it at the NICU. And I know, excuse my little off script, but that's one of those really challenging times, is you're really excited. You're really looking forward to baby coming home. And both mom and dad, may be told, hey, not yet. And a lot of times, folks, including Anna's organization, MomCares in Baltimore, and, a variety of others, we're like really wrapping ourselves around the mom. But, for you to express, that was just as devastating for you too, to be like, hey, like.
Yes, I want, because a lot of times we do go through it with y'all too. What's it called? Postpartum?
Mm-hmm.
She was dealing with that. And there was another challenging thing I had to go to, because her not having a child at home, we making appointments and they let us see on the 30 minutes. And then we got to come back tomorrow for 30 minutes. And then come back the next day for 30 minutes. Then it turned to a month, where it's like, it's bubbled in on the schedule already. This is what we're doing for 30 minutes every day, no matter what's going on. So, your baby going up and down and weight. Then she was very stressed. And it was a stressful experience, just going through that. So, just trying to be there for her was hard.
And I'll also offer that postpartum depression is often attributed just to the mom, but dads can go through postpartum depression as well. And I will say that the studies, as far as NICU involvement, say that the dad's postpartum depression can happen after the baby comes home, because I would assume, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or not, but I would assume because of your role as the dad that's providing and protecting. And so the hospital has been forcing your hand as them being the one that does that in the hospital. And all of a sudden you find yourself home having to provide and protect for this baby. And that can also kind of throw off some emotions and feelings and create stress that can exacerbate.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That's like a great transition to, this next part of the conversation, which does have a lot to do with the change in the structure of the Black family. And so the question is this: childbirth for Black families have been disrupted for centuries as white colonizers and human traffickers force Africans into bondage, along with more modern day removal of Black fathers from the home in families experiencing economic distress, with the ever-present over-incarceration of Black men. At the height of the Civil Rights Movement, then Assistant Labor Secretary Daniel Patrick Moynihan released The Negro Family, sometimes also called the Moynihan Report, which created a vicious blueprint used by the federal government to create racist, classist policies that incentivize the separation and breaking up of Black families. And many of these negative impacts, as we know and see, still impact Black families today. And I know that was a lot, but this is what I really want to distill it down to. Considering this really vile history of white supremacy in this country, how do you educate Black families on the power of family planning? And I'll add the power of Black men taking their leadership as father and leader and head of their family.
First, I will say we need to unite. We need to make sure we unite as one, because everything that's going on is always directed towards, or mostly directed toward the Black father. The Black father have it the worst, I would say, with child support, with not having able to be in the house, not seeing the kids, and overall, all the help they give to the mother, give them a bad attitude towards the male. It gives you, I don't need you attitude. When it's not, I don't need you, it's, we need you. My advice to all fathers is never give up. Don't matter the adversity, what you're going through, never give up. I got a guy I've been in contact with. He's trying to be, he's not trying, we're gonna get him in there. He's going to be, this seat hasn't been filled in over 100 years. Child support, at the child support court, a Black man in the office. We hadn't had that in over 100 years. That's the way he explained it to me. It's been years and years before since we had it. But the fact that we don't give up, we can't give up. Not on our families, not on children, not on anything. We can't give up as fathers. We have to persevere and keep going. If you look behind me, there's him right there. We're trying to get him elected as a judge in the child support court. But we're gonna get that done. And my thing to all Black fathers is make sure you never give up. The baby's worth fighting for. They always worth fighting for. They the future. And if we don't fight, nobody's gonna fight. Everything is a lot stacked up against us where we're gonna have that adversity. Persevere and keep going. If you don't, you're gonna lose everything. And I think I do it. My main motivation is those babies. I get up and do it every day for those babies. A lot of times I don't want to do it. A lot of times I don't want to show up in child support court. When I'm struggling and I'm behind, I don't want to go back and give child support my money when I know my child is gonna get half, maybe even a quarter of it. Still do all that. I'm still gonna do what I need to do to make sure they're successful. Right now, my oldest child, she's 19. When I say my most proud, this is my most prized possession right now. She did everything I asked her to do. And I talked to her the other day, she told me, "You've been the perfect father." I was like, "How perfect father?" Because everything you asked me before I give you. And she just broke it down to me. it kind of made me cry off the fact that she understood what I went through as a kid, and I didn't want her to go through it as a kid. So she's in college now. She'll be a sophomore next year. CBU. I'm so proud of it. Like, I'm so proud of it. So it's worth fighting for. And when you get to that point, when you get to this stage in life, and you get to seeing what you work so hard for, it's all worth it. I promise you, all the fathers out there, it's all worth it. It don't matter what we got to go through. Let's go through it and get it done. I love being a father. Nothing makes me happier than being a father. My whole life. I talked to one of my partners the other day. He didn't know what he wanted to do in life. He got a child on the way. And he just feel like he living. I said, once your child get here, it's gonna change. You got something to die for now. And you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. It's gonna hurt real bad, but you're gonna love it. So, you know, having them kids, you give up your own life. You giving up all that fun you want to have is over. I let it go because it's a bigger picture. They my motivation. They tell me about everything they do for me, but I tell them, like, y'all don't know what y'all do for me as a father, as a Black man living out in the world. They do a lot for me. So all fathers out there that's trying, that's doing their thing, whatever you gotta do, make it happen. It's all worth it. I promise you. I promise.
I'm just over here getting so emotional because you are a successful business owner. You are someone who has been so victorious in the face of adversity, and for you to say that your daughter's achievements are your biggest achievement, it just really warms my heart. It's bigger than, girl dad. Like, you are the reason why you are the expert that we wanted to tap into today, is because you're not only a leader of your household, but the leader of your community. We know the power of someone like you, who's extremely supportive, who's such an active and enthusiastic father, to also be in a barbershop setting, and in a setting where new dads, old dads, young dads from all types of backgrounds come, and they're vulnerable and honest and open. And to be able to be inspired by someone like you and by a message like that, I just want to thank you for that. And I just want to honor you for that, because I'm over here like, so thank you so much. And your young ones will be able to see you say this, forever. We got it recorded. I'm sure you say it to them all the time, but now they'll never, ever be able to say they've not heard you say that you are proud of them.
To sow into the legacy of your children. From what it sounds like the path hasn't always been easy, and it hasn't always been perfect. And so from one co-parenting parent to another, part of my question that's coming up for me is, what advice would you give to men who want to serve as allies for their women or their childbirthing folks, but also as like the relationship, the co-parenting relationship, as it trickles down to the children? Like, having gone through the fire, having a 19-year-old means that you have some knowledge under your belt around the co-parenting relationship. And so what advice would you like to give to men around how to support and serve the mothers of their children and other birthing folks as they are rearing and birthing the legacy moving forward?
I would say always stay supportive. Always stay supportive. If they got a hard job here, then that whole 9 months is hard. So always support your child's mother. That's most definitely. That's my number one, support, and always love first. Because if you love first, you follow nature. Because nature's gonna teach you the right way. You know what to do. Like, you learn how to walk. You came out, learn how to breathe. You knew how to breathe. Everything is natural. Go with the natural setting. And just as far as advice, I had a child when I was young, so I learned it the hard way. So that's why it was a lot of ups and downs. But I had a child when I was, I want to say 15. I was 15. And It was the hard way. It was always adversity. It was always mother against father. And the thing about that is you got to become less emotional about that person that you once loved that's moving on. It's a lot of people that's moving on that had kids and had children with people, and they can't cope with the fact that they're moving on. But so it get taken out on the child. Always love your child first. If you love your child first, you don't have to worry about everything else. Everything is natural. It's nature. It's like waking up in the morning. It's natural. It's nature. I promise you. So from my experience, it was hard in the beginning. I was a child. I didn't have a father, so I didn't have anybody to teach me how to be a father. I only had my mother. So I had to learn things on the way. I watched other people and see what they were doing. And, you know, the people I looked up to, they couldn't show me the way because it was my way. They could only give me advice and advise me to do this and do that. Hey, you can't be mad about this. It's your child. You got to do it. So love first. If you love your kids first, everything else will fall in place. It'll be natural. It won't even matter what anything else won't even matter. Okay.
Thank you so much for your wisdom and your words and your perspective. And so as we wrap up, I really just want to express my extreme gratitude for being here with us tonight and for sharing your wisdom with us. Could you remind our viewers how they can follow you or where they can see more?
Everything, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything, YouTube, everything is under my name, Xavier Baldwin. If you can't find me under Xavier Baldwin, go to Shop Open or Shop Talk. Shop Talk 901, that's my podcast. Shop Talk 901. Go check out my last episode. It was on, it was May. So we did mental health. It was mental health month, so we did the episode on mental health. It's real cool. I had a couple of people in there. It's nice. So on all platforms, my name is Xavier Baldwin. You can find me.
Well, I'm definitely going to tune in. And you just lit up when you started talking about Shop Talk 901. So I know the energy is where it needs to be.
Man.
I want to thank you again for your honesty and your vulnerability and for speaking with us tonight. I want to thank our viewers for tuning in another month of Womb Wednesdays. And we definitely look forward to you joining us every single fourth Wednesday of the month. And in the meantime, please engage with Xavier Baldwin all across social media, with Black Millennials for Flint all across social media, of course, MomCares Baltimore across social media, and share this episode and all of your other favorite episodes with a friend. Peace and good night.
Good night.